Hey guys, welcome to my kitchen. So as you're making this cake, this is basically what you'll need. In this time you'll need the bowls, everything is just right there. So let's get started. Okay, so now we're going to need 2 bowls for our mixture. And we're going to start with the first bowl. We're going to mix in all the dry ingredients, starting with the flour. Mix all the 2 cups together. We're sieving so that we can incorporate air, and air is a good thing for the cake. Yeah, so okay, here we're going to use some baking powder. As you can see, the baking powder, you can either use that or soda, bicarbonate soda, but if you have a self-raising flour, you don't need it. Okay, so as we carry on, the next thing we're going to need is the cinnamon. It's preferred if you use the powdered one so that you can integrate it as well. Otherwise, if you don't have the powdered one, well, I guess go find one. Okay, so we're saving it in. Okay, and also this also helps you remove all the maggots that are there. So we'll set that aside and we'll now use the second bowl. But before we get to that, we have to prepare the tin. And when you're preparing the tin, we need some cooking oil, or you can either use some margarine. If you have some blue band around your house, you can use it. Apply it in all the sides carefully, and this is so as to reduce it from sticking. It's to reduce the cake from sticking in the pan after you get it out. You'll see it at the end, and make sure you get all the corners. Okay, so once you're done with that, you're going to need some flour, and here we're going to apply the flour throughout the tin, and make sure to get all the corners. And if you don't get the flour all the way and you get some patches, don't scratch it, just leave it as it is. It won't do much harm, but make sure you get all the sides, all the corners as much as possible, yeah, as I'm doing here. So once you feel comfortable with your tray, you can pat off the excess flour. As you can see, there's some patches, but it's okay. If yours has patches, it's still okay. It's going to be fine. Set that aside, and we move on to the next bowl. In this bowl, you're going to mix all the other ingredients, but you're going to do it in this order. We'll start with the sugar and the cooking oil. And with the two, we're going to mix them up with a whisk. Although if you don't have a whisk, you can use a fork or an electric mixer. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, an electric mixer. But it's better if you use an electric mixer. It's the best. Okay, so we're going to break an egg. I don't like breaking it into the mixture because it might be bad and it may spoil everything. So break it on the side, although it may seem that I may have cracked an eggshell inside, but yeah, there it is. Okay, I don't like the smell of eggs on my hands. Ugh. Okay, so we're going to mix it all up. We're going to whisk it all up, the mixture now together. And when you're mixing it, make sure you beat it like that as I'm doing. Yeah, just hold it up to an angle and just, yeah, do it. Okay, so as you continue whisking, when you feel comfortable, you can now add on the other flour and the baking powder and everything in the other bowl onto it. And at this part, I like using a fork or a whisk because it reduces the flour balls that come up in the batter. So you're going to whisk it all up, the flour, everything. And as you're whisking it at this part, you may notice that it's getting a little bit tough to make, so here you're going to add some milk, yeah, as you can see. And just so you know, this video is not sponsored, so yeah. Add the milk gradually, and this part you're going to check on the consistency, yeah. Hi, so as we continue on, we're going to keep on adding the milk, just approximate, but I'll say 1.5 cup, half a cup, sorry, half a cup will do, but go on adding until you feel like that pancakey feel, you'll want that type of batter. That is the consistency that you need when you're making a cake. So I'm adding on the rest of the flour, and you're going to mix it all up. My whisk couldn't handle the batter, so if that happens to you, if you have this type, let's just switch it up. Okay, so you're going to use the fork to finish up. You're going to now scoop off all the excess on the sides, and you're now mixing it and putting it all together, and we're just about done with our mixture. So far so good, guys. So at this point we are checking for the consistency, and remember to scoop off all the sides, and now we're about done. Now we have now achieved the right butter, consistency of butter, and that is butter. That mixture is called butter, for those who haven't figured that out. And that's what you want. If it's lighter, add more flour. If it's a little bit hard to, if it doesn't drop as so, add more milk or water, whatever is available to you. Yeah, it's all done. So now we're going to take the baking tray, and it's time to bake. Before we bake, we're now going to add on all the flour, the mixture, the batter onto the baking tray, and you're going to scoop it all off. And if there are fans like my brother who just walked in, who wants a piece of it, of the batter, it's fine to eat if you want. Yeah, so you can even taste. It's good. It helps you figure out how sweet the cake might be, if it's, yeah. And these ingredients are not limited to this, and you can change however you please. So I'm trying to scoop off as much as I can, and remember, don't mix in the baking tray. Do not mix in the baking tray. You're going to just spoil everything. Mine is sweet. If yours isn't, I don't know what you did. Okay, so now it's time to bake. It's been 30 minutes and my cake is all done, and we're about to test it. So as we're testing it, you're going to need either a skewer or a knife. If you don't have a skewer, you can also use a toothpick, and you're going to be poking around the cake, all areas, the center and everything. And if yours comes out clean, as my knife is right now, it's ready. If it comes out with a little bit of paste, put it back in the oven for like 10 minutes or so. Yeah, now that mine is all done, we're going to lay it out on this cooling rack. It's also an oven rack, but yeah, serves the purpose. It's a little bit hot, but yeah, it's coming out well. Nothing is sticking on the baking tray, so yeah, although I'm scraping off some flour, which is still fine. If you flour a lot, you're going to have a white base. Yeah, so a clean tray. Let's see what we have.